Stephen A. Smith reveals unknown details of Bronny James' interaction as ESPN analyst fires explicit shots at LeBron. LeBron James wasn't about to let this one slide. During the Lakers game against the Knicks, he walked straight over to ESPN Stephen A. Smith, who was sitting courtside at Crypto.com Arena, and let him have it. The reason? Smith's recent criticism of Bronny James. After the rookie struggled against the Sixers in January, Smith publicly urged LeBron, as a father, to pull the plug on the Bronny experiment in L.A. That didn't sit well with LeBron, and he made sure to address it in person. But just when it seemed like things had cooled down, the cameras caught another interesting moment. During Saturday's game against the Celtics, LeBron was spotted deep in conversation with Richard Jefferson, and lip readers on the internet decoded that it was about what he had said to SAS. In his third response to the 4X NBA champion on Gil's Arena, Smith revealed some previously unknown details about his interaction with Bronny James. So, I remember during a timeout in the first quarter, seeing Bronny, and Bronny looked over at me. He had this sad look on his face, Smith recalled. And I'm imagining Pop saw that as it hit him and he couldn't hold it, and he rolled up on me. The veteran analyst noted that the tension in that moment was undeniable. What started as criticism on a TV show had now turned into a face-to-face confrontation on national television. With cameras rolling and thousands of fans watching, the Lakers superstar made it clear that this was personal. Speaking with Gilbert Arenas, Smith didn't hold back when reflecting on his run-in with James. He made it clear he wasn't impressed with how things played out. "I thought it was weak," Smith said about the confrontation and everything that followed. "I thought it was some B-dash." With Smith firing back, the ball is now in LeBron's court. Given how things have unfolded, it wouldn't be surprising if this back and forth keeps heating up. While Smith stays in the headline for his feud with LeBron, he's also making major career moves. ESPN locks in Stephen A. Smith for the next 5 years. Stephen A. Smith just secured the bag. ESPN locked him in with a massive 5-year deal reportedly worth $100 million, according to The Athletic. While the network initially stayed quiet, it later confirmed his extension, keeping him as a face of First Take while reducing his other ESPN appearances. "I'm happy and honored to remain a member of the Disney/ESPN family for at least the next 5 years, Smith said, promising even bigger and bigger things ahead. ESPN chairman Jimmy Pitaro called him a difference maker and emphasized the network's appreciation for his presence. The new deal gives Smith a hefty pay raise from his previous $12 million annual salary, but also allows him to step back from NBA Countdown and other shows. He'll still appear occasionally at major events like Monday Night Football, but the reduced workload frees him up for other ventures, especially in politics. Since Donald Trump's win in November, Smith has leaned heavily into political commentary, frequently appearing on Fox News with Sean Hannity and criticizing both parties. His outspoken takes have even fueled speculation about a 2028 presidential run, a rumor he hasn't exactly shut down. All this comes as ESPN's parent company, Disney, slashes budgets and lays off staff. While others lose jobs, Smith secures a record-breaking deal, ensuring he stays in the spotlight, whether in sports or politics.
What do you make of LeBron confronting you in the aftermath of that situation?
I thought it was weak. I thought it was some bullshit. But in the moment, I knew that I was listening to a father. Here's what happened. I'm represented by William Morris Endeavor. The founder of William Morris Endeavor, Ari Emanuel, had courtside seats right next to the Lakers bench. He had Larry David with him, star of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm sitting with them. I get there in the first quarter. I'm sitting courtside, and I stand up, and then I got my head turned. And then I turned back around, and a lot of people thought this was the end of the game or something like that. This was in the third quarter. Apparently, LeBron had walked out of the timeout, and I turn around, and he's right here in my face. He said, "Yo, you got to stop talking shit about my son. You got to stop fucking with my son." that's my son. That's my son. And I was like, what? He said, nah, fuck that. I said, yo, let's talk later. He's like, fuck that. Nah, fuck that. You gotta stop fucking with my son. And I said, all right, dog. And he walked off. So I remember during a timeout in the first quarter, seeing Bronny. And Bronny looked over at me. And he had this sad look on his face. And I'm imagining Pop saw that shit. It hit him. Yeah. And he couldn't hold it, and he rolled up on me. And so when I went on the air the next morning, first things first, believe it or not, I know this is shocking for people to believe, but I didn't have any intentions on talking about it until I woke up that morning and saw that the shit had gone viral. Once the shit had gone viral, the bosses at ESPN, now you gotta talk about it. This is you and him. You gotta talk about it. I said, fine. So I go on the air and I said, the first thing that I'm gonna do is establish that this was a father talking to me, not a player. And that was what threw me off. And I was glad, even though I thought that he misrepresented the argument, I was glad he did. Because you see, what he was really talking about, which was confirmed with his conversation with Richard Jefferson, is that I was talking about him as a father. And so what happens is that had he said that to me, then I wouldn't have been thrown off. I'd have came right back at him. Yes, I was. I was talking about you. You did this shit, which I'll get to in a second. But because he didn't do that, I said, fine, you let it go. Mind you, I just agreed to my contract. Courtside. That day was when it was announced. It's all over, everywhere. Watch it, I be right? Yeah. It's a nationally televised game. The cameras are rolling, and I'm like, if I do anything, this is gonna be a scene. Now, we can sit up here in front all we want to and act like we don't work for somebody. Damn it, I work for Walt Disney. And if I had gotten into some shit with him at courtside right there at that moment, no matter how right I would have been, it would have been wrong. And I was like, I'm not gonna do this. But once I saw the tape of him talking to Richard Jefferson Saturday night in Boston, that was when I got really pissed because that was confirmation. Now let's get to the father thing. And I'm so glad y'all asked me about this shit because all I would ask is that I've been around for 30 years. Tell me the parent that said they heard me talking about them. I've never done it. What happened was this man was the one that said, you want me, draft him. I'll come play anywhere he's at. It ain't even about the money. This man is the one who said he's better than some of the NBA players are right now when he was in high school. If you go back and look at the tape, back then I said, stop. You can't do this. If you do that shit, you're bringing more pressure on your son. LeBron, stop. I said it then. This is before he got drafted. Stop doing this. He goes to USC. He got the heart ailment. I'm like, thank God he's okay. He gonna be all right. But I'm not gonna go see him at USC, just like I didn't go see him at Sierra Canyon because like I ain't see Melo's son. I heard your son is all world. I ain't see him. Your son, I never saw these guys until they came pro because I know. Wrong with USC? No, it's not that. Okay. I know that because of who I am and what I've established for myself in this industry, if I walk into an arena, everybody is looking for me to critique that person. And I don't want to do that because they want to come up. I'm not covering college, I'm covering pro.
And they kids.
Huh? And they kids. Well, I'm saying that, but if I was a college reporter, then I would have had to, but I wasn't. So why am I gonna be there? I didn't want to put that extra pressure. So I never went. I went on national television and announced to the world, I'm not going to see him. He goes to USC, I'm not gonna see him. It's too much. It's too much. And then now he's got to overcome this heart ailment, so I can't judge him. But then they said, oh, he going pro. So then once you say he's going pro, okay, you're talking to the scouts and the evaluators and everybody else. Yo, man, this is them. He'll be lucky to be a second-round pick. He'll be lucky. He ain't ready, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I ain't seen him, y'all. I haven't seen him. Then all of a sudden, Rich Paul and others at Clutch, and then the story headlines follow. Boston might be interested, Golden State might be interested, Phoenix might be interested, Clippers might be. You start hearing all of this, and you're like, all right, you know, this could be true, or this could be them wielding their magic to make it look such a way. I say nothing. He gets drafted by the Lakers, which everybody knew was going to happen because, you know, the skids were greased, and he gets drafted. I still say nothing. He goes into the pro. It's opening night. Now remember, most cats talk about the league. I cover it. What I mean by that is that you can give your opinion. You might not be on the phone with the commissioner. You might not be on the phone with the executive VP. You might not be on the phone with other people that work in these offices. I am. So because of that, I'm hearing all of this. Yeah, you know, we just gonna go along with it. Opening night I'm talking about. Opening night. Him, Bronny. We just gonna go along with it. Or you hearing the Lakers are just going along with it. You're hearing this stuff. Now, I'm not saying they told me that, meaning the commissioner or Jeannie Buss, but I'm saying you're hearing that from those organizations. So I'm getting all of this. I still say nothing. I'm at Crypto.com Arena. I'm one of those cats standing there.
Staples Center.
Ken Griffey, Senior and Junior, who all-stars, Hall of Famer, and Ken Griffey Jr. They got them there. And again, I've been covering it for 30 years, not NBA, sports. You understand? So how you think it's all looking to me? It's a little bit too choreographed. But I'm still. I'm still like this. Congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking, let's have this moment because LeBron deserves it. The brother, I got him number 2 all time behind Jordan, right? He's done so much for the league. He's generated so much money. I don't want to hear about Bronny and the $8 million. As far as I'm concerned, LeBron underpaid. This shit, that's $8 million he should have had in his pocket. It's no big deal to me. But the one thing I did say was, that one game right there is the moment. Now you got to go to the G League and earn your stripes. Instead, he's playing and playing and playing, and I'm getting stats, and he go against Philly. They put him in the first quarter, and Tyrese and them gave it to him. And then they plaster on SportsCenter 0.3 points, 0.3 rebounds, 0.4 assists, blah, blah, blah. And I said, damn. Why? Because I'm like, now I can't ignore it. Because how am I doing my job? If now you put me in a position where because they put the stats up, everyone is blowing it up. They're putting it on all their social media pages. And it's like, how all of that's happening, but Stephen A. Smith got nothing to say. I can't get away with it no more. So I go on the air and I say the same thing I said over the summer. Yo, LeBron, if we see this, you're his dad and you're a basketball savant. You must see this. Don't do this. Because you're putting him under such a microscope. It's gonna be too much for him to overcome. Give him a chance. So that's what I said. And because I prefaced it by saying, as a dad, the only reason I said as a dad is because you marketed yourself as his dad to help him get into the league. You didn't do that. Melo didn't do that, or it hasn't yet, and I know he wouldn't.
D-Wade,
Tim Hardaway Sr., Rick Barry, the list goes. None of them did that. None of them. He's the only one. And I said, yo, That's why I'm saying this to you. I don't want to do this. I know your intentions are honorable. Go back and watch the whole tape of me saying it. I know your intentions are honorable. I know you don't mean harm. But there's some vultures out here, and they gonna come for him. And how many times over the years, to get to your point, in terms of what you asked me about what you expect from me, Stephen A., blah, blah, how many, find the brothers in the industry that will tell you, I did not give them a lookout. I go up to them all the time. Yo, come here. I'm not gonna be able to help you if you get to this point. You need to stop this shit right now because it's coming. It's coming. That to me is where I reach back and I pay back by giving cats the heads up of the minefields, because I've been here for 30 years. I got fired, I lost my job, they thought my career was over. I've been through all of this shit, all of it. And I'm like, yo, I know where the minefields lie. And I'm telling you what's coming. And